We're good? All right, what is up, guys? Japheth Kinjanola here, back. And when I say back in a really good way, this is one podcast that we've been looking, the guys on this podcast, we've been looking to do this for a very long time. It's been like, what, ages? I don't know. It's been like a couple of, I don't know. I really don't know. But right now, Japheth Kinjanola here, live from Lapu-Lapu City. I got my boy Mark up top. Miggy, Jameer, let's do it. This is Cebuano Hoops live, guys. We did this podcast like maybe about a couple of years ago. I don't even know the last time we did an episode, but we're back and we're gonna talk about everything Pilipinas Super League related. But before that, I want to throw the microphone real quick over to the guy up top. Before he became what he became now, he's simply known as Marky Mark. I knew him as Marquez. I don't know what the fuck y'all know him as. But Mark, anybody that you want to holler at, anybody that you want to reintroduce back to Cebuano Hoops Live, man.
All right, so good evening, guys. Welcome back to Cebuano Hoops Live. Migs, bro, Jameer, Jeff, welcome back. So, just wanna greet everyone. Good evening. I know we started out late, but that's the only schedule that we do have available. Na we're na common na muupat. So, just wanna give big shout out to the boys, the Consolacion Sarok Weavers, who are still in practice right now. So they're practicing until 10 p.m. So, yeah, that's it. Let's talk about PSL.
All right. So I also got Migs and Jameer here. And the Pilipinas Super League has been absolutely on fire as of late. And I'm going to start with Jameer on this one. Talk to me about which one of the teams in this Pilipinas Super League have absolutely caught your attention.
Hey guys, good evening. Before I answer your question, Jeff, a mad shout out to the man above who left. Marky, yeah, appreciate you, bro. Really appreciate the success that you're getting, with the game. And brother Migs, Jeff, what's up, you guys? Anyway, going down to your question, I guess for obvious reasons, apart from me rooting for a very own Consolacion Sarok Weavers. I don't know, man. I think I'm seeing huge potential with Davao up and partly with Bukidnon, those two Mindanao teams. And I may be biased because I'm from the Mindanao now. And I can see the true potential from those, young kids and the young guns that they're doing. Part of the thing that I'm seeing is that there's a little bit of uniformity as far as the defensive sets are concerned, bro. I don't know if you guys noticed it, but a couple of teams are actually applying what Sarok showed during the first season. So that's probably, I'm seeing that 1-2 trap, 1-3-1 press, full court press. It's all over the place, man. So right. And I can't blame those teams, bro. I can't blame them because we saw that it worked. It won championship for this guy up here, Martin. Right. So yeah. Right.
So
that's my take, definitely.
It's interesting that you said that, Jameer, because I covered a couple of games over the weekend, and there's one thing that I can definitely say, Migs, is that these teams, a lot of these elite teams, they're really using a lot of full court pressure. It also makes sense because they're young. They want to see if you have the ability to be composed. And then talking about the point guards, there are not a lot of really good point guards at this level, I would say. Although there are a lot better 2 and 3 guards. Migs, talk to me about who your favorite is so far.
Yeah, and I have to stick close to home. Bias na kung bias, diba? Bias na kung bias. But I will always rep Kobe Palencia from Ormoc. I think his combination.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Sa way pagpabor-pabor, kanabang I'd always go for Kobe. His IQ is just above everyone else's, I think. Kanabang his playmaking is a notch above everyone else's. His shot making actually ang kanindot magud ni Kobe is that ang kaimportante ni Kobe ba makita nimo because he has to have the ball every time. He has to have the ball every time for Oxy to have a chance. No? And kanang momaguni ang challenge for Oxy because they have Limbatog, one of the best big men we have in Vismin, at least for the Vismin league, for the Vismin leg. Pero ang problema is they're small everywhere else. No, so it has to go through Kobe. And if I could have a stat for every time he touches the ball and just the amount of points they have for those possessions, I think makita gyud nimo ang value niya sa team. No? So yeah, I go for Kobe. Kaya anong malayo pa man ko. I'd go for the homeboy. Diba?
True.
We tried to talk about this in the back, or when I say the back, it's just basically the group chat for this podcast. We try to avoid bias, but of course, I mean, if there's one team that you want to root for, it's definitely your home team, right? And talking about home teams, Brush, let's talk about Mark is not from Consolacion. A lot of people know him already as the team manager and the owner of Consolacion. That he is not from there. He is also not from Cebu. He's technically not from the city. He hails from Bogo. So let's talk about the Bogo City Bogoys, Brush. This team was brought in last minute along with a couple of other teams in San Fernando, Asturias, and I believe Lapu-Lapu was already in the mix, and Mandaue as well. But San Fernando and Asturias, I believe, were a couple of last-minute shoe-ins. The team, owned by Kicks Blank, I believe. Talk to me about the Bogo City Bogoys. How did they fare this season, and what are your main thoughts on how they can carry over any kind of momentum they had this year to the next season?
All right. So just my idea lang ha. But before I get started, I just want to give a big shout out to Ken Blanco, who manages Bugo, who helped me manage Bugo as well. So in regards to Bugo, yes, they were one of the last minute teams that joined the league. So I guess it was kinda hard for them to really pick up like other players, mainly because more other teams already got those players. Mandaue, us, Consolacion, and then there were also players going to Lapu-Lapu. So they had a hard time, especially for homegrown players. Given that Bugo only has limited koan. Bugo is a big city, but in regards to basketball area, murag daghan kayo og 1 and 2 positions dito, but they really lack the bigs. Wala good sila big men. So in regards to the team, yeah, we have to accept the fact na this season really didn't go well for them, but it was a learning experience not only for the players but also for the coaches, for the management as well. So I've talked to Mayor Carlo Martinez of Bugo, so he actually told me na he would want to join the PSL again next season. Hopefully, we would be able to field in like a better and stronger team compared to this year. That's it. Hey, Brush, you lost your audio.
Si Jeff is in the upside down right now.
Yeah.
I think ikuha na siya ni Vecna. Yeah.
You lost your audio.
See, ako ba?
Yeah.
Mo-comment lang ko ha. This is not the first time when naging anit ha. Always time to prepare. And may happy po nangyayari. Di ba?
Yeah, but going back.
Good me. Hindi, pas-pas na po ito eh. Mahon niya po niya.
Tinood. O lang, Jeff was supposed to ask all of us our opinions on the teams. So,
Sure.
What was your overview of how Bugo City Bugoys fared for PSL?
Okay, that's me. Okay, yeah. Kanang sila to daghan kayo close games. Diba? It seemed like they would always lose in the last 5 minutes, 6 minutes of the game. Onya, it shows nga naagid sila yung players. They have the players. It's just a question of exposure. It's a question of adding more size, as you said ganina, no? And mo lagi na ang kanindot manggod sa Bogo, when you're in Cebu province, actually di gud ka mahutdan og talent. It's just finding the right types of players for your team.
Right.
I have no doubt nga ang Bugo has the talent. It's just finding na lang yun the right combination, the right types of players. Okay, it's always those last 2 minutes. Na lang yung breaks of the game pirmi. Di ba? I think sila
True.
siguro, I think they have the record for losing the most number of games na within 5 points lang. Sunod-sunod yun do.
Is that a
It's
real
fast.
stat? Is that a real stat?
Ako ra na, but I think,
Open.
di ba? Kaya ako nagitan.
Mao. True. But yes, it is
So,
true.
so apart from that, I mean, there's also a couple of other teams that really played hard, and I believe they played spoiler last Sunday. Talking about the Lapu-Lapu City Phantom, that team is they're sort of semi-loaded, but they're not. The one thing that I don't like about some of these teams, Lapu-Lapu and Mandaue, is that there doesn't seem to be a lot going on for them in terms of a system. They play a lot of one-on-one basketball, which, if you listen to the PSL over this weekend, we talked a lot about in depth. Where, for example, Mandaue, they keep giving it to JV Dizon, to I believe Cabellion, and all of a sudden they're stuck in a one-on-one situation, and the defense is loaded up in the middle, and there's nothing doing for them. Kind of the same with Lapu-Lapu, although they did again. They played spoiler over the weekend against Asturias, the Corn Ranchers, who did as well as they possibly could against that team. But that team played absolutely. They played their heart out. I'm gonna give it to Asturias. They had a chance, Brush. If you look at the standings, to really advance to the next round. If they won that, they would have put themselves in a better position today. And as we all know, I think Mandaue was able to really move past the Ormoc Shearmasters, and now you're going to see Mandaue move on to the next round as well. So, and the one thing I want to cover here, Jameer, is let's talk about the number one seed here real quick in the Consolacion Sorok Weavers. What has been the biggest thing that has led to their success all throughout this season?
I think if you try to look at it in more in depth, it's really about their chemistry. Commendable gid ba ilang chemistry from their captain si Dalumpines Paulo up until the young guns or new ones who came. Ang chemistry gid ang naka-trigger gid nila kay it, especially when you're led by someone who's I'd probably say a veteran in terms of the point guard position. If you take a look at Paulo Dalumpines, commendable jud kay yung pagdala sa team. He stands for everybody, and I really appreciate his physicality. That's what I love the most about that dude. Mao gini, I think in my own opinion, that's the edge sa Sarok over the other teams. Grabe ka deep ang chemistry. They trust each other.
So, Brush, we're pretty close with the Sarok Weavers, right? I will say this about Paulo Dalumpines right now. I covered his game also in the MCBL last Sunday, where Truck and Trail won against. So it makes there's a lot going on in Cebu. There's so many tournaments right now. There's so much going on. I covered the game Truck and Trail.
I just saw
I
the
covered the
post
game
actually.
Truck and from Jax, right? I covered the game between Truck and Trail and Sherilyn, and the one thing that I will say was that, or the one thing that I will say is that Paulo Dalumpines, and I don't know if the panel will agree with me on this one, he reminds me so much of L.A. Tenorio or Matt Nieto.
Yeah.
I believe that's accurate. Both probably. Here's why, Brush. And I want you to chime in on this one because he's like a little kid. He's like one of your little sons to you. You have a lot of sons, but that one looks the closest to you height-wise. So here's why. Let me explain Paulo Dalumpines to you. He's not going to turn the ball over. He's not going to turn the ball over, number one. Number two, he's very composed as a point guard. I've seen this guy play maybe around 8, 9, 10 times already. The one thing, there are so many good point guards in the PSL and in the MCBL. Brush, the one thing that where Paulo stands out is game control. This is more of a intangible aspect of basketball that, as an observer of a basketball game, for you to really understand what he's doing, it's because if I look at, I'm not throwing shade on these guys. I'm just going to point out a couple of names. Guys like Cabellion for Sherilyn. Guys like Bangkale for Lapu-Lapu. And I believe that other point guard for Bukidnon, who's fair enough, he's pretty good. And even a guy like Kobe Palencia for Ormoc.
Sakayan
Paulo's
for
game. Yeah. But Paulo's game control is different because these point guards, the other ones I'm talking about, when they're in the game, they have, and shout out to Ives Alimpos right now with a heart sign. I don't know who in the panel knows Ives, but shout out to Ives Alimpos. Now he gets the team in a set. He never not gonna get them in a set. That's what I love about how he plays. It's because it's organized basketball. He's never in a panic situation. He's always composed. And against veterans in the MCBL, I saw him always calling a set. It either involved him or Cabahog, him or Robles, him or Konahab, him or I believe was Borok Siniza. He was always getting somebody in some type of situation where not for me. The problem, for example, with Mindao is that it's for me. And the defense knows this. Paulo is different. It's not for me, but if I see a shot, I'll take it. But my initial reason for doing this brush is that I'm going to get Robles involved. I'm going to get Kabahog involved. And I want to know you who's there every day in the practices, you who's there in every one of the games, and you who has seen Paulo Lumpinas really come from where he was to where he is now. Do you agree? Can we agree that he plays a lot like Leyton Orio?
Yeah, for me, yes.
Yeah.
It's like he really changes the game. He really gets his teammates involved. That's the thing about Paulo. And the good thing as well is that he doesn't only lead the players inside the court but also outside. So me as the manager looking at them, yep, grabe si Paulo, mudukol og players, mga saba og kanang teammates in a good way. Where creative criticism, he does that a lot. Not only to he doesn't pick on like the new ones or sila, let's say for example ako anak so Wesley, he guides Wesley a lot. As a matter of fact, story mi Wesley, who guides you sa team ayan, who actually mura ganig, since he's really new to this, wa siya kaagig varsity and all mayana. So there's a lot of things that he needs catching up with. So it's really Paulo, number one, who's there to guide him, as well as Matt Flores. But in regards to Paulo, daghan siya intangibles, things that doesn't like you can put in a stat in regards to his impact sa team, both in and out. So Paulo literally is the heart and soul of the team for me.
And I think that's fair. Yeah, because if you're talking about somebody like Leyton Orio, for example, or even a Matt Nieto for the Ateneo Blue Eagles, that's what the role was. He's the leader on the team. And Biggs, I'm gonna go to you here. He's the leader on the team. This makes him play point guard, sort of. Play point guard, kind of. More of a shooting guard or point guard, right? So it's very important for a point guard to really control the pace of the game for your team and also just be a leader on the floor. And if you've seen Paulo Lumpinas play, he exhibits a lot of that. And to start off, actually, the next thing that we're going to talk about, he's the first guy that I have in my Mythical 5, Migs. Paulo Lumpinas is the first guy I'm knocking off the board right now, Migs. I want to know, in your mind, apart from Paulo Lumpinas, if you have anybody else on your Mythical 5 right now for the Pilipinas Super League, who are your top 5 players right now in the Pilipinas Super League?
No, I haven't gotten a feel para sa uban teams, no? Kaya admittedly, panagsa ko makakita sa... But, here's the thing. Let's reward the best team. Diba? And they have 2 players there na undoubtedly, not only are they very important to their team, but they've shown na excel sila aning league, no? So, you have Flores and Dalumpines. Kana lang sila. Kana lang. Okay. Ano na, we've talked about Dalumpines, no? But let's look at Flores po. He's a type of player na he's a plus. He's a winning type of player. Because when he comes into the game, it's he's a plus here for everyone ba? No? You get plus rebounds. You get plus more points. Plus more possessions. Plus more taps, tip passes, blocks. If na pa lang tayo plus minus, these are the types of players na you want on your team because they make everyone around them better. And plus, they take such a load off of their role players. Na ang ilang role players, mas makafocus in yun. So if you're a shooter on that team, you have a guy like Dalumpines, you have a guy like Flores, okay na ka standing in the corner, okay na ka cutting, di ba? Because you know that these guys, they're gonna do all that work to get you into those spots. So kanaato na siyang i-reward. And then there's that shooter from Bukidnon. And then,
Pascual.
yeah,
Maybe.
and then that guy from Davao. Pwede mo di na ko kakatch silang names, no? But musulti lang ko ha, kaning mga players sa Davao ba? No offense to them, but di ko makaingon ko, grabe as 21 anyos karon, no? And then dakuan ni mga dakuan ni mga
Sorry, thing there.
I mean, ma-amaze ko how athletic kids are now.
True.
Okay, ako,
I'm also gonna say this,
honestly,
Nick.
yeah, go.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree with you on this statement. I'll actually get back to what you're about to say, but Jesus Christ, these kids are crazy. Like, and some of them, I'm not saying that they aren't. I'm saying more that they are. These kids, when I was 21, like this, brush. I met you when I was 21, when we were working in DP as bums in a call center. We used to sleep in a sleeping lounge and all that nonsense, right? You met me when I was 21. It did not look like this. Matter of
No,
fact,
you
I was a malnourished, semi-African looking child walking into a call center looking to be fed. But I just didn't look the part. But these kids, Jesus. And I believe Miggy is referring to Marvin Samonte from Davao, who played a heck of a game against, I think this was CDO. So I also have it in my mythical 5, to be fair. I was going to have JB Dizon, but between Marvin Samonte and JB Dizon, I kind of had to give the edge to the winning team. Jameer, I'm going to switch to you here. Talk to me about your mythical 5. Who has been your best 5 players? We don't have to go position by position here. Talk about your best 5 players so far in the Pilipinas Super League. It can be from one team. You can say Lashon, Bukidnon, Davao. It doesn't matter. Talk about the best 5.
For real, bro. I mean, same like Miggy, wag ko kasubay gyud kay totally nila, because again, I may sound biased, but I'm totally rooting for the team that I've been rooting for since the start. So mao man yun na. And again, as what Miggy said, let's award whoever is performing from the team that we're supporting. So for obvious reasons, si Matt Flores, grabe yung improvement. If you compare his performance from season 1 to today's season, it's really commendable, bro. And again, ever consistent Paulo Dalumpines. If you try to take a look at the last game they played, down by 6 in the last a minute or
oh my God,
a minute and a half. How can you possibly overlook that guy right there? And grabe, Brad, kung imog yung naon down by 6, low kay moral sa team, they called the timeout. When they came back, grabbing intensity. Di ka kita ana, Brad. Dalag sa ragyod ka na. Kung dili ka dad unong tinuod nga point guard, agyod pilay mong team. So, naagyod trust between the players and all that.
And then, who's your 4 other?
Oh, yeah, the others, bro. Of course. From Mindanao, of course. I'm looking at Davao with Brad kay naamang taga mo asad kani si Austin Dudong Talisayan, backup point guard sa Davao.
Yes.
Na happened to, go with us. We actually played a couple games together when he was here. Nakita gyud akong potential sa bata and very coachable. Grabe ka down to earth. And if you compare his level of game compared sa level of game sa Cebuan, Manila, maka-compete gyud bata. It's just sad that at this point in time, grabe ka deep pud ang bench sa Davao if you try and take a look at it.
But bro, he made the winning steal ganina and the winning basket.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm telling you. Defense, and that's exactly what I've been preaching all throughout sa ako pong gamayng basketball team, the Final Expert PH basketball team. Mao yun na, discipline sa depensa. And guys, bro, Samonte and Tampos, check them out. There's so much potential between those two. Grabe ka solid yun. You can see how balanced they are at their age and the way they play. It's far from from the norm, I'd say. So the PSL became an avenue for people from us here sa Mindanao, and I'm claiming it. Kay naa naman gyud sa Mindanao. I've been living here for like 8, 9 years now, and the amount of basketball that you see here is significantly mo level po sa what we can see in Visayas, Mindanao. It's just sad that, ang breaks lang jud gamay, medyo
Mm.
kulang pa dere. So PSL became an avenue for the youngs to showcase their talent. Maura na. Ug naa kay isa sa bugong natanawan sa Brad. I'm probably showing 6 na. But katong 4 position nila
Brian
na players.
Santillan.
Yes.
Brian Santillan, probably.
Grabe po, Brad.
Yeah.
Naagi potential po. Yeah. Taas nga bata sad nga.
I think it's Hika.
He's
Yung
actually
Dugo
the younger brother. of Brian
Uh,
Santillan.
Gilig yata to, Brad. Wait lang.
James Hilly.
I know for the
No? James?
I covered the game
Kita
against
nila.
Lapu-Lapu. You're probably
Limot-
talking about the younger Santillan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm gonna go to Mark here real quick and Brush before I go to you. I want to give a mad shout out to Coach Paul Hoven, wherever you may be. We don't really miss you, joke. Not here in the PSL, of course. Never. I believe he's earned the nickname most electrifying man in Cebu sports. I don't know how he got that nickname, but let's say he is the most electrifying man in Cebu sports. Shout out to Coach Paul Hoven with a comment. I like Samonte. Brush. I also like Samonte, but let me give you my mythical 5 here, and we can go back and forth on it.
Jack.
Right? Okay.
Nick, before you get into your 5, pwede mo comment lang ko. Kana bitano kanang we've been talking about kanang players who are leaders, no. Kanang bago lang nato, no. Players who lead their team, no. But that's also credit to the coaches and to the managers.
Oh, yeah.
It's their job bansa to spot
Hell
leaders.
yeah. Hell yeah.
Not only to spot
It's-
the leaders, but also to nurture kana nga skill, because kanang leadership is a skill, it's a gift,
True.
no. And if bisan pag naanay gift for leadership ang bata but dili nimo i-nurture, if you don't allow him to lead, wa ra gyapon ni gamit, no. So it's credit
Right.
to all those teams, Consolation included, nga naamoy ingana nga culture ba, no. Na you let
I
your
like
players step on the court, plus mas comment yun ko si Samonte, built like a truck, looks like a pro. I wish I was that way when I was 21.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I also wish
Now,
to,
also-
bro. Grabe.
So I also want to tell Coach Paul Hoven, if he's still watching, Coach, we need to do something like this for the PSL as well. By the way, like not Cebuano Hoops Live though, something for the PSL. All right, Brush, let's get into it because we follow it a lot more, me and you. So here's my list, right? Number 1, point guard, and here's how I base my list, Brush, right? Number 1, I'm looking at who have been the best players by far. Number 2, who has the most potential to move on to the next level? Because if you're talking about being the best at this level, well, there's a cap. They have a ceiling. And I don't want to name players who have a ceiling. Rather, I'm going to give the mythical 5 to somebody who has opportunities still to grow, and they're already great at this level. So number 1, we talked about him earlier, about Pilipinas. I have him at my point guard. I don't know what the rest of the crowd, if they agree with me or not, but at the point, I have Paulo Pilipinas. At the 2, give me Kobe Palencia. This kid is absolutely insane, Migs, from the Ormoc Share Masters. Flying, he plays with great IQ. He doesn't take bad shots. He takes good shots. He's going to find a way to get that lefty jump shot off, whether it's from the wings or in the paint or by the perimeter. He found a lot of that in Saturday's game. Now, moving on. I got to give it to the Bukidnon kid in Pascua because he doesn't play like your prototypical guard. When I say prototypical Cebuano or like Bisman's Manila type guard, they're bangers. They're super more of you're talking about JV Dizon. They're gonna try and get in the paint. They don't really have a perimeter game like a DeMar DeRozan, Kevin Durant type game just yet. But this guy, he was always looking for a shot, and the reason why he catapulted onto my mythical 5 brush was because he killed us in Cordova from the wing. That hurt. I thought, if mo tanaw ko, nga no mapili dita, It almost happened against San Fernando again. Thank God we won that ball game because I was like, I'm not gonna call these games for Lashon if we keep losing. It hurts too much. All right, now so I have Pascua. Give me some Monte as well from Davao. Migs, you talked about him earlier on. He built like a truck. He's actually very wise beyond his years as a player. He looks like a pro. I wouldn't say pro. I would probably say put some Monte against some Manila bangers and let's see what he can do. Because again, I'm talking about kids with potential. I'm talking about these kids that can take it to another level. These are the kids that I have. And finally, of course, the front runner, in my opinion, Paolo Dalumpines is the heart and soul of that team, but the engine that makes that Consolacion Sorok Weaver team go, they go where Matt Flores takes them. All right? This guy to me right now is an MVP front runner, and it's not even close between the rest of the field simply because they were talking about points, rebounds, being an interior presence. Coach Paul, maybe Bagay. I don't know. I'm not sure about Bagay, but I don't know. I'm not sure, Coach Paul, but maybe he's on Mark's list. That's my list. I like Samonte. I like Pascua. I like Palencia. Give me Matt, and then give me Paldarampinas. I promise you, if you put that five together against whatever Manila will throw our way, I believe we'll win. Mark, who do you have?
All right. So for me, Mythical 5. So yeah, I'll have our captain, Paolo Dalumpines, as my point. All right. It's a toss-up between Paolo and Kobe Palencia for Sakoa, but I'll give it to Paolo mainly because he has the edge over Kobe, probably sa standing, and we're in the second round. So for my two guard, sa ko alang two guards are really kind of rare sa PSL, pero there's this guy from Ormoc, Taala.
Wait, hold on. Good.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah,
talk about that.
I remember him.
There was
Yes.
a debate in my mind before this show rush. If I wanted to give it to Taala or Palencia. Taala, I'm not gonna throw shade on the kid. Good shooter, spots really well. But in the past two games where I was able to watch this kid play, between him and Kobe Palencia, the reason why I want to give it to Palencia more than Taala is because creativity, playmaking, I give it to Palencia. Taala, he spots well. He's gonna shoot from the perimeter. But I believe there's a limitation to his game where if he can't get hot from the field, that's what you're just gonna get from Taala.
Right.
But you need those kinds of players there. Kana bitong di mahadlok. Short memory, di ba? I missed the last 10 shots, but I'm gonna take the next one whenever it's available. And muna akong ganahan niya ba? Di ba? Okay.
That's funny you say that because he does that. Like he's gonna miss 9 and make 1, and then make maybe 2 and then miss another 5. I don't know. Maybe these are just the games that I saw. I know
but
this
he's
kid is probably good, Migs.
He's very clutch, because kaning Ormoc na team, ang core they've been playing here sa Leyte, sa Ormoc. He's one of their clutch guys.
True.
You know? And then
there's no doubt in my mind that he is.
Yeah, whenever they need a run, like he's one of the guys that sparks the run. And ako lang he's deceptively big. Kanang once in person,
I would say
bigger guards.
Yeah.
So Ormoc at least, he's deceptively
big guard.
Yeah.
He's a
And
big
crafty
guard.
too.
All right, Brush. You talked about Taala. Is he part of your Mythical 5? And keep going down your list.
Actually, it's a toss-up for my shooting guard. It's a toss-up between Taala and Marvin Samonte, because both actually shoots like the three really well. So, but I'll give the edge again to Samonte. But huge shout out to Taala for for being there sa or one of the lead shooters sa PSL. If ever there's gonna be like an all-star, if madayon good siya, and there's a 3-point shootout, I think Taala will win that.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No
And
doubt,
for my
no doubt.
3, actually, si Matt, if you ask him what his position is, he always tells me na he's a big guard. He doesn't want to be. He doesn't want to be. So I'll give that to him right now. So I'll put him in a wing, because if ever you ask him, if you talk to him about like the position he wants to play in, murag, Matt, if you go to Manila, mag-big ka or mag-wing ka. So he always tells he prefers to be a wing. He shoots threes.
Oh, he
He
does.
shoots perimeter shots. So I'll put it this way because there are a lot of kanang bigs manggod sa PSL that really stood out. So one of them is Matt Flores, and then sakto si Coach Poloven. Bagay is also one of them. And then
True.
there's this guy from Ormoc as well, who played for Southwestern. Teammates sila ni Matt before, si Ray Libatog.
Correct. Limbatog. Limbatog.
Limba,
Yeah.
yes. So that guy is like grabe siya, finesse, power and finesse.
Oh,
He
true.
feeds.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Yes.
If
100.
ever naalang gud siya I think bottom line good atong sa mga teams good. It's really more of the system, how the coaches really built the team.
Yes,
Yeah,
I agree.
murag kung player by player, I think fair field naman tanan. Like, everybody has their go-to guys. Let's say for example, sa Asturias, we didn't talk about them that much. Pero Asturias, in fairness to them, one
There's
of
some
the
good
last,
players.
I think they were the last team to submit sa PSL.
Yeah.
Then daghan is lang Manalay, Sakayan, you have
True.
like,
JV Sakayan.
yes. So I think the problem lang yun with Asturias was they didn't really have the time to gel.
True.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
yeah.
because we didn't see the full potential of that team, and then then yeah, it's really kind of hard to pick good sa mythical five. I don't know. I think Coach Poloven could comment or tell us if a mythical team would be five for Visayas and five for Mindanao, or would it be like all five for both Vismin? But also on my list, there's this guy from Bukidnon. I don't know if bantay mo ani niya si Ivo Salarda.
Yeah, Salarda.
Sa,
Yeah.
sa Lord, yes, bro.
He gave us hell in
Yes,
Cordova, man. I remember that.
He gave
Salarda.
her a headache, bro.
Yes,
Oh my
grabe.
God. I
Tapos
remember.
namuit
Yeah.
siya nga na og naa sa mga free throw line dapita. Sus,
Cash.
Bucket,
Cash
bucket.
money.
bucket.
Cash
Mo
money.
good. So I think that's my mythical five. I'll have Paulo, and then si Marvin Samonte, and then I'll have Matt Flores, Ivo
That's the
Solarga,
three.
si Bagay. Yes.
All right, hold on, Brush. I gotta ask you this question. Does Coach Paul know about Matt's intention to be a three?
No, he
Does
did.
Paul, does he know? Like secretly, is this like a conversation that you and Matt have? Like when you're drinking and you're just chilling and they say, "Boss, mag-tres man jud ko." But nanon di jud ko i-tres ni.
In all fairness, good. With our coach Pud, he gives the kids the green signal, the green light good to shoot. Murag, he's one of
It
the few
works.
coaches na, yeah, he's one of the few coaches na I've known nga murag mas masuko pag di ka mo siya. Murag yan na.
Brush,
Nice.
let me tell you this, Brush, I'll tell you this, So, you know that I covered the game San Fernando and Consolacion, right? Now, before the game, they give us a script and stats and everything. And the one thing that really was shocking to me was Consolacion, for everybody on the panel, Consolacion is nearly dead last in the entire league in points in the paint. Now,
Yeah.
that is super interesting to me how a team in Cebu basketball where height matters, or Philippine basketball in general, Brush, you know this, and Megs and Jameer, height matters. Points and SO are given to the PSF where you can play. I don't know why. I don't know why Coach Paul would say that. I really don't. Why? I don't know. Why would you say that? Anyway, going back to my point, Brush. But in a league or in a country where height matters and ideally you'd want to go inside and just dominate the paint to get easy points, easy scores, that hasn't been the case. The system in Consolacion is for players to really fire from downtown, and fire from downtown or from the perimeter. When you have guys like Dai, you have guys like Keaton Tabornal, when you have guys like Anilin, Dalumpines, Maglasang, Gonzaga, the list goes on and on. That's why I believe, because you have to rush out at these guys, and they always seem to find an easy opportunity in the paint. It's shocking to me, Brush, also that again, nearly dead last in the entire PSL points in the paint. I was so surprised when I got the script. I was like, wow, really? Nearly dead last. That's incredible. I don't know. What's the emphasis? Just before we move on to the next topic here, what's the emphasis in practice all the time? Really, is it to fire when you're open, or is it to create when you have that opportunity?
We do motion offense.
Right.
That's
Yeah, that's what I can see.
yeah, that's where we really get our buckets from. So in regards to justify the team why we're dead last in points in the paint, probably because we downgraded in height, not in talent but in height. We lost two 6-footers in
Yeah.
Montaño and Montemayor. Who Montemayor, he's like a beast in the boards. He gets like
I
offensive
agree.
rebounds, which could really help in the points in the paint. So when they left, we added guards in Aliyap and Matt Cañares. So I
Okay.
guess that's one area wherein we could really improve on. And then we also added two guys, si King Balaga, who played for Gilas as well, and
Boy,
si
BGC.
who we always encourage to shoot because he doesn't have like a breakout game yet as of yet, and we're waiting for that.
True.
And
Of
then we
course.
also added Dave Paulo, previously from the
Oh, that
Philippines.
yeah. I love Dave Paulo, man.
Dave Paulo is known for his 3-point shooting. He I think katong sa Sisafi last nilang 3-point shootout all-star nila. He came as runner-up siya sa 3-point shootout. So
We're talking
we
about
added
Dave Owen Paulo, the
ha?
dunker.
Yes,
Dave
Owen
Owen
Paulo.
Paulo, the dunker. Ah,
Yes.
okay. I didn't know that.
So we really added kuan. We really added perimeter sa amo ang team. So I guess that's the reason why points in the paint kay murag naagid mi diha sa ubos. But hopefully we would be able to really we know that for a fact that we're dead last and we're working on it. But the thing here is that our system is working. So why fix it if it's not broken, 'di ba? Even if we
Absolutely.
even if we're dead last the nga department, but we're excelling on the other fields. So I guess we'll just concentrate on our strengths, especially right now na mura gani o deep na kayo ta sa PSL karon at this point. I think this coming Wednesday magsugod na ang second round. So top 3
Yeah.
sa Visayas, top 3 Mindanao will have a single round robin na pod,
Right.
which will eventually end up with the top 2 nga mo'y mag finals for Visayas and top 2 sad sa Mindanao para silang finals. So it's kind of hard for us to really look at that aspect of our game na will fix it, but we are doing something about it because we know for a fact that other teams are also scouting that our team, so they know
Yeah.
nga butas na mo. So we're trying to fix it. We're trying to kanang murag para at least if ever gamiton against us during games, we would always have something na murag babala sad sa ilaha if ever.
Right. So if you're Bukidnon, Davao, Mandaue, San Fernando, yeah, now you have a bit of a scouting report.
Yeah,
Just
that's
saying.
the scouting report.
Actually,
That's
First,
pretty in depth.
that's
we're not gonna be meeting the Mindanao teams anymore,
Right.
which is Davao, Bukidnon, and Cagayan. We're not gonna be meeting them anymore sa second round. It's really now since they released the schedule naman. So it's us number 1, number 2 is Mandaue, and number 3 San Fernando.
Let's
So
talk
we're gonna
about that now. Yeah, let's talk about that now real quick. Let me go to Jameer on this one. Consolacion, Mandaue, San Fernando, was it, Brush?
yes, Buffaloes.
Okay. The Buffaloes. I love that team. They're a pretty solid team. They were way different
yeah.
from when we saw them in the preseason. I'm gonna
Grit
go
and
to Jameer on
grind,
this one.
man.
Right. So those are the top 3 in the Visayas, and then in the Mindanao section you have Bukidnon, Cagayan, and Davao. When the dust settles, who do you have moving on? I believe there's a national step to this, Brush, correct?
Yes, champion from
Okay.
Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao will have a single round robin as well.
So talk to me about that, brother Jameer. Who do you think comes out from this entire melee of teams that will just go at it to win that particular round robin set between Visayas, Mindanao. We don't know much about Luzon, but let's focus on Visayas first, then Mindanao. Who do you have winning it all?
Yeah. For bro, San Fernando, in my opinion, has a little chance. I would probably say. But again, we're talking about the champions here, man. And I may sound biased again, but dude, I got an autograph signed from my brother here. See that? We're always rooting for the team that we have. They may have probably some areas that they can improve. As far as kinahanglan yung muadto sa taas, they have the championship mentality. Naagad nila ang heart, passion, all that. And for the Visayas leg, I'm thinking Consolacion will go above everybody else. But it's not going to be smooth sailing, I'd probably say. Compared to season 1, the format right now is quite different compared to last season. And teams had naagad sa momentum somehow. So it's going to be a fun series or fun games that we'll be seeing ahead sa maabot na adlaw. As far as Mindanao, Davao. I'm going for Davao as well. Samonte has been very consistent since day one. Ang jumpers na super clean. Their system alone is also very commendable in my opinion. So those two teams, Visayas and Mindanao, I'm looking forward to seeing more to advance moving forward.
So we talked about it a lot. Migs, I'm going to go to you here now. Consolacion seems to be a heavy favorite here. Talk to me about what you see when it comes to the round robin situation between the Visayas and the Mindanao teams. Who comes out of that and who probably would figure to be, or which one of these games would probably figure to be a very close one and a very, 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 that will give you a heart attack almost.
Sorry na mic day. Na-mute day. It doesn't have to be a hot take. Let's go with the obvious answers. It's going to be Lashon and it's going to be Davao na heavy favorites. And they're heavy favorites for a reason, di ba? Labi na ang Lashon, obviously. They're defending champs. They carry with them the experience, the mental edge na we've been there before. We've done this. Di ba? We've gone all the way. No? Pero ako lang, no? In Davao, they have size too. They have a system too. Ang edge sing siguro sa Lashon is that I think they've played more pre-season. Kita ta busy kayo. As we speak, nag-practice pa din gyapon sila. And si Dalompinis nagduwa pa gud sa MCBL.
O si Robles.
Imagine. Og si Robles. Oh.
Ni ako no, young legs. Kung ako mo duwa akong more than 2 games sa akong club, wala patay na ko tomorrow. Young legs. Pero so malagi na but if kanina lang if anyone can play spoiler at the Mindanao teams, and I'm looking at Cagayan, no? If ako lang na kakita mo gud ko sa Cagayan, I saw Cagayan play against Ormoc actually, no? And their defense, no, dili pareha ka smooth, dili pareha ka system based sa Lashon o sa Davao, but they have the guys who will face guard you 40 minutes a game, no? Na di jud kaundangan, di jud kabiyaan, and if I don't know man, if they could be the dark horse aning second round. Cagayan,
yeah, you got a good point there.
Yeah.
Sila, they lost in show.
And pero sad ha, para bang single round robin naman lang good.
No.
'Di ba? So you never know, it's not a series na. It's not a series, 'di ba? So all it takes is one bad game from a Dalompinis, a Flores, from a Samonte, one bad game from them, and there's no tomorrow after that.
True. Okay, Brush, we're gonna debate it. We're gonna debate here real quick because again, talking about the teams, and Miggy talked about this. There is an opportunity for either one of the two teams in the bottom tier for the Visayas. Let's talk about Visayas first. That can be the spoiler. Number one, the game between Consolacion and Mandaue was not that bad. When I say it's not that
Yeah.
bad, the lead wasn't that big.
Yes.
Let's all remember that. It's not like Consolacion walloped them. It wasn't like it was like 20 or 30 point lead. Consolacion actually pulled that from under the rug. They were down like five, maybe 6 points, and they came out again with the victory off the back of a couple of turnovers. I believe Robles sealed the game for them in that matchup. And then let's move to San Fernando. Same situation.
1 point.
Down by 4, and I was having a panic attack calling it on the sidelines. Down by 4, pulled it out again from under the rug. They got the W. Now, the reason why I say there is a cause for concern is because, again, it's not like you can go into these games and say, let's just do what we did the last time. What you did the last time was you pulled a rabbit out of your hat and you beat these teams down the stretch. You didn't beat these teams convincingly, huh? There are only a handful of teams that you did that to. And this is, if Coach Paul is watching, yeah, that's something we kind of need to be aware of. We didn't beat them like we beat Lapu-Lapu. We didn't beat them like we beat maybe Asturias. We kind of had to pull that game, again, out from under the rug. So there is a chance here, despite what Jameer and Miggy said, that they could still lose. They're not invincible. That's my whole point with Consolacion. And
True.
with this round robin, again, San Fernando is not the same team that we saw in the preseason that we walloped by 40. We beat by 40.
Yes.
It's not the same team, huh? Against Mandaue, and I'll give you an inside scoop on Mandaue. They're having, again, this is an inside scoop. I'm not going to name names, but I heard from the talk around the water cooler is that they're having so many issues with just getting players to show up because a lot of their players are now playing for their schools. Sasafi is supposed to be rolling around. I don't know. Coach Paul, I know, is already in training with the USC. By the way, shout out to Coach Paul. Congratulations on the head coach job. I'm not sure if your players will be able to adjust to your cool coaching style, but let's see, right? USC all the way. Carolinian. Now, going back to Consolacion, again, we didn't wallop them by so much. So you have that situation where focus, tenacity, championship experience. Miggy talked about this very well. That's what's going to pull us, or that's what's going to probably take us to the top. Composure is very important. I keep talking about this in games. Let's go to Mindanao. Bukidnon, Cagayan, and Davao. These three teams, bakbakan na yun, Brush. If I
Yes.
could put Consolacion
Yes.
in that division, holy my God, holy Toledo, that is
It's scary,
a
bro.
war. Brush, you have to remember, and Jameer and Mix as well, if you want to chime in. The only reason why Consolacion won against Davao was because they missed free throws.
Free throws. Yes.
Let's remember that. My brother from another mother, the guy in the gray jacket, was having a damn near heart attack on the sidelines while these Davao players missed 4 straight free throws down the stretch. And I was hitting him up. I'm like, thank the Lord above that these guys cannot shoot free throws, because if they did, we would be 7-2, not 8-1. I guarantee you, we would have lost that game. That was the opening game. I believe that was in Toledo. I couldn't make it because who the hell? At the very last minute says, let's go to Toledo. Shout out to Fran Lee, by the way, because he's like the big guy in Toledo. I don't know, Fran, wherever you are. We don't really miss you, but we feel like it's a responsibility for us to mention you because it's Toledo. So, all kidding aside, huh? Brush, talk to me about this, because in one side of the coin, Consolacion can be upset here. They're not invincible. I'm very much well aware of that fact. On the other side of the coin, it's bakbakan. I don't even know who's going to come out of that Mindanao division. I believe Bukidnon has the edge over Davao by a slim margin. That's my prediction. Consolacion can make it out of here because Mindanao, they haven't beaten any top team. But we know that at any point in time, they can, again, pull what Consolacion did, pull a rabbit out of the hat, and boom, there goes Consolacion. Brush, talk to me about how confident you are as a team manager and owner. Be a little impartial here. Give a little bit of credit to the other teams. What's going to happen in the second round, in your opinion?
For Visayas, we're I guess the biggest edge we have over the other teams is probably, yeah, it's true. What you mentioned, Ganina, Jeff. We just merely pulled or mura siya og kanang it wasn't really convincing wins that we had with Mandaue and San Fernando, but that's what Coach Paul said. A win is a win. All right, we just have to make adjustments. Okay, and the thing about both teams as well is we played them in the preseason, and both times murag di sad siya inanagid lubong. For San Fernando, I guess it was 7 points or 9 points. For Mandaue, it was also quite close, but we lost Paulo Dalampines on that game, as well as si Yap. He got injured during that game. So I guess the mental edge is what we have over those two teams. Another thing would be the kanang maturity sa tingali sa players. And then I guess overall, because imos la tanawon good player by player, fair ra gid nang murag tabla ra gid ba way lamang gid kayo. San Fernando has si S Padilla, na si
True.
Canoy, na si Go, and then for Mandaue you have JC Dison, you have
JZ Dizon, Cabellion,
Tabillon, Acer Go. Yeah,
Mr.
you
Go,
have those players. So they might
Guerrero.
not. Yeah. So murag player by player, it's murag kind of fair ra gid siya. It all boils down to execution sa offense, and then who gives out more sa defense. Murag yan na. Kung kinsay mas all out sa depensa gidana. Because I mean, those two teams are out to get our heads good. Um, both teams actually lost to us twice. Once a preseason, once a season. Tune-up games. So they already know how we play. The coach, I'm pretty sure at this point of time, the coaches for both teams already know how we play. So and we also know same thing. We know kinsay lang key players and all. So it really boils down to preparation, and that's the thing that kanang we always tell our players na we can't promise you a win every game, but what we can
True.
promise you is that we will make you prepared for every game. And that's what we're doing right now. And it's a big shout out sa good sa team sa good namo nga we do have players who are playing for Sisafi teams
Yeah, a lot
for
actually.
PB, for San Jose,
San
for other
Carlos, Alilin,
Carlos,
ano,
yes.
Cañares.
Yes, he will be. I think he will patrayauto na mo siya or will talk to Paul Hoven about it. So we do have players who are also playing for Sisafi team. So in regards to that aspect, I guess it's not an excuse. Everybody has the same. All teams have the same problem regarding that. Kay classes are already kanang starting, and then Sisafi's kanang fast approaching na sad. So it's just a matter of dedication sa good. Not only sa coaches, sa management, but also the players. Kaya ang bottom line, kita igo raman ta nasa sideline mo, abiba sila mo give og play sila ha, but it's the player executing the plays.
Right.
So it really boils down to that sa dedication sa players sa ilang gisudlan, and I always remind the kids good, remind the boys na this is a once in a lifetime opportunity gid sa inyo ha. We didn't
True.
have this opportunity before.
No, we did not. We had the Telstra
No,
baby
it
that was
didn't,
ass.
man. Oh, Jesus. I hope we had one before.
Sikat-sikat na nagkaduwa tag barangay, pero kay inani ba?
No,
I always tell
Rush.
them, do not take this for granted.
True. I have two more questions, one for the panel, but one specifically for Mark.
Hmm.
Mark, I'm gonna start with you here. No bias. Try to deviate from that for like the next 2 minutes.
Sure.
But talk to me about who do you think has the biggest chance to upset Consolacion?
For me lang, I think kung ako lang I think it's gonna be San Fernando.
I
It's
agree.
that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
I agree.
really big.
Yeah,
They're
I
really
agree.
big.
They are.
Yeah.
I'll give you this.
I won't say na lang on air. Kay we've scouted them. We've scouted them. So somehow we know what their weaknesses are. We know how to play them this time. So yeah, but it's for me it's San Fernando. If there's like a team that could I'm not really upset us, but if there's a team na murag nindot nga finals,
challenge.
I'd go.
Yeah. Got you. All right. Now, this question is for the entire panel. I'm going to start with Migs here. Mark talked about it, and it's actually my last question for everybody as we're nearing the hour here. How important, or in your mind, because when we grew up, we didn't really have this. We didn't have a PSL. We only had a Sasafi, and then you had to try it for your school, and that's it. And there's nothing else outside of that. We didn't have a PSL. We didn't have a Chooks to go. We only had Milo, and that was also not much doing, to be honest with you. There was, again, you had to try it for your school, and then your school would be the one to endorse you.
Pasarel.
I want to start Pasarel, SBP, right? So, Migs, I'm going to start with you here because you've gone from the grassroots to where you are now, where your knees are about as brittle as glass from playing so many games. Talk to me about the importance of the PSL and other leagues, for that matter, informing the basketball players of the day's time in the Philippines.
Yeah. Before ko musugod, I have to tell you, nga sa Ormoc, actually, we had like a version of that, but actually, gamay in a much smaller scale. So it was, it started about in 2003, 2004. All kids born, all boys born 1992, they had a roster of companies, businesses, nga mo sponsor sila og team. And it was the works, no? Jerseys, practices, transportation, allowances if naapay extra. And that went on for 4 years. So I feel very blessed na I was part of that group of kanang kids in Ormoc at that time. Because Ormoc has always been a mecca of sports in Eastern Visayas. Ormoc
True.
City, not only basketball.
Boleg.
Yeah, we're very famous for basketball. But our volleyball community here is very kanang rich. Our frisbee community has taken off and excelling kayo. Tennis, badminton, ano. So, kanto siya, nindot kito siya, but it was nowhere near this scale. Nga i-broadcast yun ka, nga naging commentators, nga naging stats. Of course, that was way before social media. No? But ang impact ato, I tell you, no, and then this means a lot to me. Kana ang impact ato on my life and my friends' lives, because kanang it's something that we talk about until this day. I'm 30 years old. But actually, di pa ko 30 kay not counted to ang pandemic. So, 21, 28 pa ko. At
Say whatever you want.
At my age, no, nahuman to siya nga liga in 2008. So that was 14 years ago. And we still talk about it today. And the friends I made from my teammates, from the players on the other team, amigo gyapon mi today. Amigo kayo gyapon mi today. And how much more ang kaning experience for these kids, 'di ba? Kanang it gives them an opportunity, it gives them exposure, plus it also gives it makes it easier for scouts and coaches, labi na kadtong mga gikan sa dagko ng mga schools, makakita sila sa bata nga moduwa gyud in real game scenarios. Kay para magud nako, no, anyone can have a good tryout, anyone can have a great tryout gyud.
True. It's
Tryout,
different in the game.
Pwede gyud sa tryout mo score kag 50. Because in tryouts, even if you sell yourself as a defense first player, that doesn't necessarily stand out in a tryout, di ba? So, and unsa man ang imong dili, unsa man makita nimo sa tryout, athleticism, shooting,
Raw stuff.
like basketball skills, di ba? Tangible basketball skills. But sa PSL o kaning uban mga commercial leagues nato for the youth, unsa may naa diha, makita nimo ang intangible skills sa mga bata. Ang ilang clutch, di ba? Ang ilang basketball IQ, ang ilang leadership, ang ilang maturity, di ba? Ang ilang grace under pressure. Kana di man na nimo makita sa tryouts. And at this stage, nag-broadcast gud ka on Facebook na mananaw 100 people, more than 100 people watch the live feed. Hundreds of people watch the games live diha sa gym. I think the only time na mingaw ang BSL kay karon na, di ba, nagibuntag ang mga duwa.
Tinuod.
At basta gabi ang mga maski unsa ka late, kanang Mark, I actually watched the game sa Oxy versus Consolacion. The house was packed.
True.
I mean,
In Talisay.
ba? Oh, di ba? Oh, sa Talisay. And then, kanap itong, makita, diha ni mo ma-separate ang mga player-player lang o kana mga players who you can bring to the next level. No? And makita ni mo diha, kinsa man gyud who's built for the big stage. Kani mga bataa, when they move to NCAA, UAP, CESAFI, PBA, hopefully, they will not be afraid of the bright lights anymore. Makaingon sila nga, I've been there. And that's the impact of the PSL and all these other leagues. Kaya it gives kanang kids an opportunity. Unya, I think it's our responsibility, ato generation, to support these kids para maabiba nila.
True.
Because we should, di ba, kaya nagiuban na mo recent ba, nagiuban nga masuya kanang sa mga karaan. But ato ni siya suportaan. Pero ako gid no, sa 2 years nga way basket kay na lockdown ta, nahibong jud ko nitubo gini mga bataa. Kay nara sa kwarto, unsa kay gibuhat ani nila sa kwarto, ano nitubo ni sila.
I mean, we don't gotta go there.
No, we don't have to go there. Wa ko gisulti. But kanang hibong gid niyo. Di ba? But yeah, that's kanang ingana ka grabe kanang ingani ng mga liga. And even the small leagues, no? Even kanang mga gagmay na liga locally within our regions, within our provinces, dako kayo impact yun.
Got you. All right, appreciate that was very well said and a very well thought out. I think Miggy prepared for that particular part of the segment, apart from all the other stuff that we talked about today. But Jameer, I'm going to go to you here. Thoughts on anything that Miggy just said, if you want to add to it, or if you want to highlight your own version of how big of an impact is this to the youth, especially you're talking about areas where not a lot of scouts can actually reach. How often are you even able to really scout someone from Davao or from Bukidnon, which is not really a hotbed for basketball? But then again, so many players have come from these locations. Now they're getting an opportunity. The spotlight is on them. Talk to me about how you feel the impact of a league like this affects the lives of these people.
Absolutely, bro. And again, ma-appreciate yun ako ni question kay firsthand. Na-experience yun ako. It all goes down to how PSL moved these kids, okay? And we can talk about it in two different avenues. Existing players who's playing right now, we can see that they are showcasing their talents, their skills, and all that. And people are acknowledging how they play. And on the other side of the coin, bro, and probably it's not quite talked a lot, perhaps Visayas or maybe sa Luzon, because those two places dominant yun ang basketball dito, and agents can easily go there and scout for players and all that shit. There is a Mindanao, Brad, lisod yun dire, and I have first-hand access seeing it. And that's from what Marky, Brad, so kung unsa yung gibuhat dire, and for having me or having the opportunity to support you, officially sa season 1,
Yes.
it opened my eyes, good bad. What you did for Lacion and the boys that you're managing now is really, really phenomenal, Brad. And it moved me. It moved places good for me. And that's the exact same reason, and on my own little way, that's why I'm opening doors for young talents diri sa Amua to come together, play, and really get them inspired. Believe it or not, bro, these boys they're all rooting for you every single freaking game. Because I'm trying to instill your discipline, the way you play the game right, ang physicality, and I'm quite surprised at least sa among area diri sa South Cotabato, specifically sa Sorala, I am blown by the amount of talent that we have, and nobody knows them. So when I took the chance to initially help young kids build a team out of it, imposing a system na ma-adapt nila, it turned the tables around for their lives ug sa ilang mga families. Naapa ko'y player nga naas pinakalayong bukid, Brad, mo biyahe way sapatos, murag yung kumuto na kong dugan. And seeing PSL and these kids, these boys, seeing the league keeps them motivated, making them grind every day. Kaya na they have the passion and the dream of stepping foot, hopefully, sa liga. So dako jud kay impact, and on my own little way, I'm doing my own little shit po dire. helping them out, trying to instill some one discipline good for the youth, spending time which I'm battling from sickness and all that, pero nag-spend good time ng mga bata to get to help them because as what Miggy said, sa tuwang panahon, and maybe a lot older than you guys, but sa kuang panahon, Brad, kung makatilaw mig simento nga court, mura na nag-fiesta sa amoa. Kaya among court in town, mag-high tide sa amoa, magduwa ming nga tubig sa korte. Iyon na. Kung magsapatos mi Brad, maguba mong duwa. Kaya di mi kabalo mong duwa na magsapatos. That's how basketball was way back. So, tungod sa PSL, thank you Jukayo kay having this avenue for youngs, especially sa kaning under 21 nga category, really makes them more inspired and work hard. So mad shout out yun sa PSL for making this happen.
Brad,
Alright.
another question for Jamir ba? Is that like a signal you're giving us where we could expect a team from South Cotabato?
I can't wait.
Dude, that's exactly the plan. With your help, man. And with your help and support.
I actually spoke with Macy, ang wife ni Jamir. Nagkuhan mi ba? I think chat or comment. I think chat.
Chat, bro.
Yeah, I asked her if interested ba mo kuhan sa PSL, and she told me nga I think it's 100% support sa iyaha for you. So it all boils down sa imuha na gid. What
Lagi. It's that's the goal, that's the plan. I'm trying to finish up this one last league kag apila na mo karon, Brad. And the intention is to pick an LGU that will represent us, right? Because unfortunately, we can't run the team with just us alone. So we need to pick an LGU that will support us. But I'm gonna tell you first, and then, dude, I hate you, Brad. Dirigin mo na. We're planning. We're getting there, and with you guys' support, nothing's impossible. Really going all in sa pagtabang yun sa mga bata. Satisfying ka, Brad. Above, dili man ni about sa kwarta na at this point in time, lamig jud kay sa pamati nga makita ni mga bata nga malipay ba. Ambot lang yung nga addiction yun siguro ni somehow, but ikaw kay hinungdan po na yun na inspired jud ko. As in, it's literally seeing this boy's face, watching your team play on TV every single game. Makatandog yun. So again, I appreciate you for the opportunity and for reaching out from season 1. Appreciate that, bro.
Thank you so much.
Now I'm gonna go before I give my final thoughts on this, and then we're gonna, sign off. I got to talk to the guy who actually also was one of the main cogs for the Pilipinas Super League. All right, Brush. We talked about this in depth. You and I have been in a lot of conversations. Hell, I've been to the practices. We've talked about the practices with the boys in Consolacion. Right now, I'm going to give the floor to you. And you expressed yourself a little bit earlier on, but talk to me about how important has this been for you as a team manager, as an owner, and finally, as a father of one of the players on this team. There has to be a lot of pride there. There's some skin in the game. Literal, not figurative, literal skin in the game. Talk to me about how the PSL has sort of shaped you from being just Mark to being boss Mark. There has to be that it kind of came with the evolution. Because I was so surprised, Jamir. One day, I walk into this practice for Consolacion, because you were talking about a bunch of things, and then people were calling him Boss Mark. Like, you call him Boss Mark? God damn, Boss Mark, yes. When did you? And I looked at him, and he was like laughing the whole time. Like, I don't even call him that. I've never called him that. Like, why? And then I kind of understood as to why. But Brush, of course, I'm gonna give the floor to you here. Talk about the PSL. Talk about the opportunities with the kids. We talked about this a lot also, but I want you to share it to the group and the panel and everybody watching.
Yes. First of all, in regards to PSL, I would really want to say thank you, Gukayo, to Sir Rocky Chan, to Commissioner Mark Pingris who
Oh,
I
he was
spoke
there on
to,
Sunday.
said
Yeah.
yeah. And also, most especially to Coach Caro, Chilito Caro. Kay, somehow, nagka-story-story ang mami ni Coach Caro good about this. Even before season 1 or katong invitational started, mura ganig, nobody thought na naagyoy market for this. Murag tuo gid ang mga tao nga, or tuo gid, nagtuo ang kadaghanan nga, na mura ganig, it's hard to come up with a team nga under 21, mainly because the players are mostly in schools good nga lisod din siya na. Pero si Coach Caro, we had the same mindset sad when we talk nga mura gani, how about those kids nga dili makaskwela o makaduwag mga eskwelahan, unsa na lang opportunity? How about those kids nga wala mahataga at wala matagig opportunity nga ma-showcase silang talent? So this is the league for them. And somehow ni fit gid ni sa kuha, the reason why I joined this is because tungod ni Wesley, tungod sa akong anak. Kay we all know he loves basketball, unya murag tungod sa pandemic, tungod sa ngayana, sige na inom sa ng karaho, pero somehow I got him back into the game through this. Kay murag ganig murag pointless nga magsige kag practice nya wa kay gi-practicean. So murag ganig sige kabalo ko nga gasto gid ni siya gamay or gasto ni siya dako, pero murag ganig I'll try the first season. I'll try unsa gid ni siya ang feel ani, kasi I've been forming teams man sa diri sa Cebu gud nga wa jud ko katiyawg siya. So murag
Nanalos, diba?
so murag for me PSL really was an avenue nga murag ganig nakakuan, murag give back sad nako ba, kay murag I love the game and this is the closest I could get to the game, murag yana. And this is also my murag same sa mig mindset ni Coach Paul Flores. Big shout out to Coach Paul Flores. By the way, nag-PM na sila, they're done with practice but they're now in Zelis Halo-Halo in Consolacion.
I heard about that.
Nag-dessert sila dito karon. So good thing lang yun nga sa season 1 si Coach Karim, and then nagka-get together gini ba si Coach Paul, na we all had the same mindset nga we're gonna give back to the kids. For mura ganig, not everybody had the opportunity that they had, though ako di man jud ko varsity or whatsoever, but I'm thankful nga murag nahimo kog instrument sa ani nga game nga murag somehow makatabang sa mga bata nga ma-expose sila. And I'm proud to say nga maski katong season 1 namo sa invitational, these are like top caliber players pod noon, pero they're now in Manila. And at this point sad karon sa PSL, we're also trying to make sure na all our players sa team would somehow be able to sign up with the school. Na dito sila muduwa, ma-varsity sila, kasi mo man among promise sila ha. Nga tabangan na mo sila gid og pwesto gid. Give us your heart, give us your dedication, and we'll also do our part. Murag yana. And this is our part sa team. So para sa ko hopefully lang gid PSL would really last long. And because this is really a big as a matter of fact, teams like Bugo is already like thinking about like kanang planning na sila na appeal next season, anya magkuan mga players daan mayana. And then on our part, we'll take this day by day sad, since the job isn't done yet. Pero I'm also looking at the future sad sa team, because next year we're gonna lose almost half of the team. Kaya di na sila eligible. They're gonna be like 22, 23 na sila. Because as of now, na may 22 sa mo ang team, kay deceiving siya, 21 under, pero because of the pandemic, ilang
Nilabang.
ang mga naanak og 2,000. So 2,000 lang cut off. So daghan kay naanak og 2,000 sa amuang team. And then based on what I also heard from management sa PSL, na they're gonna be skipping 2001. They're gonna go directly to 2002. 2002 for their cut off. So daghan gid kayo, murag probably tulo or upat na lang mabilin sa team gyud. And it's a challenge that we're actually kanang excited to face by the end of the season. But as of now, ang amo yung kuan is hopefully will get the national championship good. But it's a long task. Daghan kay trabahoon. We have to go through the Mindanao teams, which is they're also tough, and we also need to go through the Luzon team, ang Pasig ug ang Pampanga Delta, which are really strong teams. Ang
Oh,
Pasig is
they're pretty strong.
owned by Soto, so good guys sila, and then Delta produced a lot of good players good na nasa PBA mo ban. So and then ang team na mo taon gagmay kayo. So but the heart is there. Matod pang Tingris, kung saon ang talent kung why heart. So
Sure.
Correct.
thing,
Correct, yun na, Brad.
naa ang talent, nasa dang heart. So hopefully lang yun magrasyahan yun ni the basketball gods would smile at us. So I guess that's it. I'm just pretty proud to be at this. I was given this opportunity by PSL as well, and thank you also to the municipality of Consolacion for trusting me nga mo represent sa ilang municipality. Kay Consolacion wasn't in the basketball maps good. Sa tinudanay lang diri sa Pilipinas.
Never was.
Yeah, never was.
Never was. Never was.
But because of the Consolacion Sarok Weavers, we made noise good. So mura ganig mixed emotion siya kay naay mga supporters, but naa sa gyud bashers good. A lot of teams are really, we have a very big target at our backs good. Like all the teams are really kanang dying to get a crack at us na murag usa sila sa team nga makakuan. I think usa sa tinga ito sa reason nga noong San Fernando ni breakdown atong kay murag premature kay ba nga 4 points lang lead, 50 seconds. I think they were too excited to finish the ball game with them winning.
Composure.
Usa to sa
Poise.
Poise. Yes,
Poise.
but again, thank you for the opportunity, PSL, for giving us this league, and looking forward to somehow still being part of this league in the future. Yes,
and by the way, shout out to the Pilipinas Super League. We need to do a post-game show. This isn't hard to do. Just get the guys in the room and talk hoops. It's not that hard to do. Jesus. All right. Now, in closing, I just want to end with this because we're about to hit 1 hour and 30 here. But it's actually pretty simple. Everybody already said it. It's about opportunity. It's about giving these kids a chance that they would otherwise have never had. And I think that's what the PSL kind of represents to a lot of kids because, again, when the pandemic hit and this league was given the go signal to move forward, there was no CESAFI, there was no UAAP, there was no NCAA. And if you're talking about all these other leagues where scouts would have been thrown to visit and whatnot, there were none of those. Because, again, there was only 1 or 2 or maybe 3 leagues that were ever greenlit to operate at a certain time where basketball wasn't supposed to even exist because of what happened to us in the past couple of years. Now we're in kind of full swing. The PSL has a lot of momentum. All these kids, and Mark touched on it really well earlier, take advantage of the opportunity. That's the only thing that a lot of these owners would want for you to do. A lot of these owners, they don't even really have a lot to gain from it. If you're talking about a direct ROI, there is not much to gain except for you to succeed. And that's the only thing that really a lot of these owners would want for these kids to make happen for themselves. Ball's in your court. Take advantage of it. Shoot for the stars, or in this case, shoot for your dreams. You'll never know how far you'll come, especially in a league like the PSL. Now, for Cebuano Hoops Live, I think that's about it. Miggy, Jameer, that bald guy to the right of me wearing an LA cap. If he takes that off, you'll see what I talk about. Parting shots. I'm going to start with Miggy here. Anything you want to say to the people who have watched us and supported us today in Cebuano Hoops Live, Migs?
Again, sorry. As usual, no, thanks to everyone na it's been 2 years but naagyapan mo din, nag-support na mo. Thank you. It's good to be back. Hopefully we get to do more of this soon, no? So again, shout out to my brothers in Lingkod ng Panginoon, Quaid, Kenneth, Randall, Po, I hope you find your Tumblr na. Dugay na nawa yung Tumblr. Ako yung ipangitaan, I don't know why. And shout out to, I feel like we have to say to all the kids out there na ganahan, na nangandoy pa ba? kanabitang pangandoy, yes, but it doesn't have to be pangandoy lang kutob, no? It doesn't have to be dream lang kutob. No? I hope you work on it. I hope you explore all those opportunities. Ask questions, ask for help, whatever sport or whatever your interests may be. Unya, look for people nga only have your best interests at heart. And as usual, of course, din ako kalimtan, ay ka na iyagap kibaw ba mo nga ang 30 sa atong mga nananaw karon, 36 sa atong mga nananaw karon, mga 16 ana, again iyagap po ng mga account, no? So ay ka, thank you.
I doubt that, but okay.
Thank you, I love you.
I doubt that.
Giving out ko ng linyahan mo, Brad Biggs.
He always loves saying that, even in
Yeah,
the NBA front row
yeah.
cast. All right, let me jump over to Brother Jameer. Any party shots for everybody watching at home?
Yeah. Again, guys, thank you, Kay, for bringing us back together. It's been a while. We had a crazy run past few years running the Cebuano Hoops podcast previously. But anyway, shout out sa ako adeng entire members sa basketball team for Final Expert PH Basketball. So nila Eman, Alfred, Maoy, tanan kamo. Thank you, Kayo, for sticking with us. We had a great game earlier. We won by a huge margin, so it was a very dominant game good for the squad. And again, I'm doing everything in my power, and of course, inspired by my brother up there, who literally made me open my mind and eyes even bigger to make sure it's about at this day and age, but labi na sa akong edad, it's about time to give back na gid sa community. Okay, we're not talking about politics here. Okay, we're talking about genuinely helping people and young kids to pursue their dreams. Because unfortunately for us, or maybe sa ako, I can only speak for myself, pero sa kung panahuwala yun avenue, that sucks. And we have the opportunity to show up, showcase our talents, build character out of what we're trying to do and accomplish. So everything for the love of the game. And I know you three here knows what I'm talking about. So mad love sa tanang nagtanaw karon, and again, keep on rocking, play ball.
Keeping it 100 always, Brother Jameer. Let me finally... Nah, we're not going to go to him. I'm just messing with you, man. All right. Last but not the least, of course, let's go over to Marky Marks. It's technically the owner of Cebuano Hoops Live. I don't know if you count that under your ownership portfolio. I'm pretty sure you won't.
I don't.
But any party shots to the people that you
Yes.
give a shout out to?
First of all, I'd like to say thank you to the mayor of Consolacion, si Mayor Nene Aligado, and Mayor Joy Aligado for the support you have gave us since day one. And then shout out as well to my co-owner sa Sarok Weavers, right? Kabawag kinsaka, co-owner teka. So also to Coach Paul Flores, Coach, thank you kayo for this opportunity side na kuan, because we don't really greet the coaches during
they never get any credit. It's insane.
Interviews. Yes. So this is my chance to greet Coach Paul Flores, Coach Limar Dahil, Coach Vince Orot, si Coach Serge Alburo, si Coach si Coach Agvin Hugan. So these are the people from the sidelines. There's the people who help make the Sarok team who they are right now. So I'd like to also say a special shout out to our sponsors sa team. We have 21M Beach House, and then Doris Diner. Then we also have Zelly Salo Halo, North Sports Apparel, and CCR Rice for helping us sa mga needs sa players, and of course to Jeff, who's been like a silent supporter sa team. Like the kids
For
are
sure.
getting from him. So thank you kayo. And then bro Jameer, I haven't really said thank you katong pag last season, but thank you for supporting us. And to all the supporters of Consolacion, I know there are really a lot. Si Ma'am Molina, who just PM'd me recently, she's kanang from Luzon, but she's rooting for the team. So, shout out to Ma'am Molina. So, to everybody nga nag-support sa Consolacion sa Rook Beavers, salamat jud kayo. We I appreciate everything from mga kuan ninyo sa kanang live during games, mga away mo sa mga kontra na mo ana.
Oh my God, they do. It is crazy.
Um,
The
I was
Consolacion
probably
are
I was
scary,
part
bro.
of it.
So kana siya, grabe jud kayo ang ilahang support sa moa. Makita jud nako jud nga kuan nga ilang suporta naa gyud permi gyud ba. They might not be there during the venue kay uban layuan ra gyud sa venue, balin-balin mag-venue ang PSL. But if imo tanawon ang duwa namo sa live or sa YouTube, damn, it's reaching like really a lot, mga 15, 20,000. I mean, where does these people come from? Nganong nagkuan mo, nagkuan mo sa nag-support mo ani ba Morgana? I don't know where this comes from, okay? But where these people come from, pero salamat jud kayo nga naa mo diha ba na nagsuporta mo. So thank you kayo. And then good night sa tanan, and then hopefully we'd be able to get another one of this.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be nice. All right. In closing, let me just give a mad shout out to Paul Hoven. For the love of God, again, we need a post-game show for the PSL. I hope you're still watching. If you're not, I know you're doing something dirty over there. I'm just kidding. Mad shout out as well to the entire PSL crew. I had a blast over the weekend with each and every one of you. And of course, for brother Jameer, Miggs, and Marky Mark,
Yes,
Cebuano
sir.
Hoops Live. We'll be back. Not sure when. Be on the lookout. Again, Cebuano Hoops Live. Good night to each and everybody out there.